So powdery mildew on wheat is not a very prevalent disease. It's what we call an sporadic disease. So meaning that it's here one year, next year is not here. So it requires a very conducive environment. Over the last 2-3 years, we had that conducive environment. So we have been having a very large population of wheat powdery mildew spreading across Western Australia. So this is a matter of concern because big numbers of disease only means that we are probably putting a lot of selection pressure on our crops. We only have at the moment 2 mode of action groups. So it's actually the trick there is how we combine them to slow down the risk of evolving resistance in the field. We have to probably forget a little bit about the chemistry, use it because it's important, but also pay attention to all the other different strategies that are available for growers, starting with resistant cultivars. We have to always try, if possible, to use a resistant cultivar because the genetics is the biggest tool that we've got to basically defeat resistance. So other tools that we can use are also, well, crop rotations. Obviously, the more rotations we introduce in the system, the less likely that we're going to have a big population inoculum waiting there for the grower to sow the next wheat crop. Wheat growers got only 2 choices, so they've got available 2 modes of actions, DMI fungicides and QI fungicides. DMI fungicides are the traditional group 3 fungicides. QI fungicides is the traditional group 11. So these fungicides, they are sold in mixtures as well, so the trick is not to use the same fungicide season after season, right, or within season. So we have to be intelligent, we have to be smart, and we have to outsmart resistance. If we use the same fungicide all and over again, the only thing we're going to do is speed up resistance evolution. But if we rotate fungicides, even within the same mode of action, so we're going to be able to slow it down. So this is quite important because we tend to think that just changing the brand is going to help, but now we have to read the label. That's the important trick. At the moment, there is an important case of resistance recently described in the Eastern States, and this is strobilurin resistance on wheat powdery mildew. This is quite important for Western growers because this is a heads up. So that means that if the resistance has developed in the Eastern States, it's actually quite possible that it will develop at some point in the West as well. Now, the only reason why we haven't detected it here yet is because probably the disease pressure is not as high, and the use of fungicides, especially from the QI group 11, so it's not as high. It's very difficult for a pathogen to develop resistance to 2 mode of actions at the same time. So if we've got the 2 mode of actions together, it's going to be very difficult for this pathogen to overcome the effect of both. Their reports are really important. We don't have eyes in the field, so they are our eyes. So when a grower experiences an issue with a particular fungicide, for example, decreased effectivity, so that information is really vital to us at the end of the season, so we can have a clear idea, or we can try to get an idea what's going to happen in the following season, or they can send us samples from within the season. So if they see any symptoms on the plants, they can cut a leaf, just put it in the tube that we send to them, and just send it back to us.